There were 3 little dragons, and they lived in a dark cave. The cave was in a dense forest, and the forest was in a far-away kingdom. The poor little dragons were very lonely in their deep, dark cave. In the kingdom there was a good knight. Every night he kept watch, and he watched from a crumbling, tumbling tower that was on top of a very tall wall. One night, the good knight was on his watch, and he heard a very large, very loud roar. So the good knight left the crumbling, tumbling tower, and he climbed down the very tall wall. And he jumped on his horse. Away! He cried. And he galloped through the king's forest until he got to the cave. He came to the deep, dark cave, and inside he saw the first little dragon. "What's this?" he asked. And he thinks it's a dragon. And he drew his shimmery, glimmering sword. But the dragon had on her pajamas, and she was all ready for bed. "Oh, good, you have come," said the dragon. "Can you bring me a drink of water, please, and then I can go to sleep?" The good knight did not know what to think, but he was a good knight. So he got a drink of water and gave it to the dragon. Then he tucked her into bed, and he sang this song. "Good night, good dragon, sleep well, sleep tight." And he galloped away. And he got off his horse with a thud. He climbed up the very tall wall, and there he stood on watch. He stood on watch for 5 minutes. Then he heard another, very large, very loud roar. "I don't believe this," he said. So he left the crumbling, tumbling tower, and he climbed down the very tall wall. And he jumped on his horse. "Away!" he cried. He got to the cave, and the second dragon was also in her pajamas. She was all ready for bed. "Well, good, you have come," said the second dragon. "Can you read me a story, please? Then I can go to sleep. And can I have another drink of water, please?" said the first dragon. The good knight did not know what to think. So, he was a good knight. He read the dragon a story and tucked her into bed. He read the first dragon, he got the first dragon another drink of water and tucked her into bed. And then he sang this song. "Good night, good dragon, sleep well, sleep tight." And then he galloped away. And he got off his horse with a thud. He climbed up the very tall wall, and there he stood on watch. He stood on watch for 2 minutes, and then he heard another, very large, very loud roar. "This is too much," he said. He left the crumbly, tumbling tower, and he climbed down the very tall wall. And he jumped on his horse. "Away!" he cried. He came to the deep, dark cave, and the third dragon was also in his pajamas, and he was all ready for bed. "Oh, good, you have come," said the third dragon. "Can you sing me a song, please, and then I can go to sleep? And can I have another story, please? And can you get me another drink of water, please?" The good knight did not know what to think, but he was a good knight. So he sang the dragon a song and then tucked her into bed. He read the second dragon another story and tucked her into bed. He got the first dragon another drink of water and tucked her into bed. And then he sang this song. "Good night, good dragon, sleep well, sleep tight." And then he galloped away. And he got off his horse with a thud. He climbed up the very tall wall, and there he stood on watch. He stood on watch for 1 minute, and then he heard the largest, loudest roar of all! Not again, he said. So he left the crumbly, tumbly tower, and he climbed down the very tall wall. And he galloped, jumped on his horse, away, he cried. He came to the deep, dark cave. Oh, good, you have come, said all three dragons. Let me guess. Another drink of water? No, said the first dragon. Another story? No, said the second dragon. Another song? Nope, said the third dragon. Then what do you want? Cried the good knight.